Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. So the last update about Twist of Fate. Aliyah planned to kill Prachi on her wedding day by making a special bomb dress that Prachi would put on, and when she goes near the fire, then boom, she will die. Let's continue. Siddharth comes to Aliyah and insists to talk to her. Aliyah says, I'm talking to Mayuri. Siddharth says, even I have to talk to you. Aliyah excuses herself. Siddharth says, I want to meet Mihika, and says, that day, you throws me out of the car. He says, everyone will see me sad. If I don't meet Mihika, then everyone will know the truth. Siddharth tells Aliyah that he would be upset if Aliyah doesn't make him meet Mihika, and then everyone will see sadness on his face. Then they will know that he is in problem because it will be difficult for him to hide the truth, and Aliyah will be exposed. Aliyah asks Siddharth that, are you threatening me? Siddharth says, think whatever you want. Aliyah says, I was joking, and she asks the waiter to give Siddharth cold drink. She says Siddharth is not liking my jokes. His mind will become drinking the juice. Siddharth asks Aliyah if she will make him meet Mihika or not. Aliyah says, let me call my man. He will take you with him. She calls the goon and asks him to come to the Kohli mansion and take Siddharth to meet Mihika. Rhea comes to Aliyah and hears her saying that she will make Siddharth meet Mihika. Aliyah tells Rhea that she has seen something in Siddharth's eyes. If he doesn't meet Mihika today, then he will be rebellious and he would expose them. She says, I saw depression in his eyes and I don't want him to have frustration. Aliyah goes to Siddharth and asks him to wait because she has called her goon who would take Siddharth to meet Mihika. Rhea asks Siddharth to do outing with Prachi and leave. Siddharth says okay. Aliyah tells Rhea that Siddharth's car will stop at the L and says that tonight they will get rid of Siddharth and Prachi both. Rhea smiles. Prachi recalls Rhea's words that Rambo is her husband and she will throw Prachi out of the house soon. Shahana comes to Prachi and asks, what did that witch tell you? Prachi says, Rhea told me that Rambo is her husband. Shahana asks Prachi to hold Rambo's hand and says that he is your husband. Then Rhea cannot say anything. Prachi says she is already angry. Siddharth comes there and says, hi girls. Shahana asks, why is Siddharth happy? Prachi says the smile is stuck in Siddharth's face. Siddharth says that Aliyah will make him meet Mihika today and says that he had threatened Aliyah. Prachi tells Shahana that Aliyah is very dangerous and she can do anything. Siddharth says Aliyah has taken my advantage and she throws me out of the car. Shahana says I will go with Siddharth. Siddharth tells Prachi about Aliyah's condition, that they should do the Diwali puja together. Prachi says she is afraid of Aliyah's condition and she asks Siddharth to be alerted. Siddharth tells Prachi that for Aliyah, we are going to marry and that is why she is not doing anything to me. The priest comes there. Grandma asks the priest to come. The priest asks if the married couple or just two people will do the puja. Aliyah and Aryan do the puja. Aliyah gives the outie plate to Siddharth. Rambo takes it from his hand and looks at Prachi. Rambo goes to Prachi and brings her to do the outie with him. Prachi and Rambo do the outie together, making Rhea upset. Pallavi looks on. After Prachi goes, Rhea comes to Rambo and holds the outie plate to do the outie with him. Rambo leaves the outie plate. Shahana comes to the front and takes the outie plate. Rhea is forced to do the outie with Shahana. She recalls her words that whoever does the outie with Rambo, then the person's fate will be in Rambo's destiny. The priest asks everyone to say Jai and says that the Lakshmi Puja is completed and he asks them to light up all the lamps. Prachi says she will light all the lamps. Aliyah thinks that Prachi will die. Siddharth sees Aliyah smiling and he tells Rhea that he wants to meet Mihika. Rambo asks Nia to do him a favor. Nia asks what is it? Prachi lights the lamps. Rambo sees Prachi and says he finds Prachi. He says he is the first husband who wants his wife to scold him and says their love will be different from others and says, I love you, Prachi. Rhea is in her room and she looks down from her window. She tells Aliyah that she is looking at Prachi. She is holding her life in her hand. She says just as the tailor told her that the dupatta will catch fire and Prachi will be burnt into ashes. Aliyah tells Rhea that she is seeing the best show of her life. Rhea says, I'm watching the last day show of Prachi's life. She says, why to take risk? And says she doesn't want to be anywhere near Prachi and she doesn't want anything to happen to her. Aliyah tells Rhea that she wants to wash away her sin with the fire and says Prachi and her baby will be burnt into ashes and Siddharth will die too. Aliyah says all our enemies will be killed today. She sees Aryan standing. Aliyah turns and looks at Aryan. Aryan looks on in shock. Rambro comes to Prachi and holds the lamp with her. He says, you have lit the lamps. Prachi asks, where is your Niha? Rambro says, I will call her. Prachi says Rambro wants an excuse to call Niha and says, I am your cheeky chick and I will eat his head. Then he will ask Niha to save him. Grandma asks that what is Prachi murmuring to herself all alone. Prachi asks what is Niha and Rambro's connection. Rambro hears her and thinks that Prachi is jealous. Rambro gets happy. Vikram comes there and asks that what is Rambro doing. Rambro says nothing. Vikram says your mom called you to burn crackers with you. Rambro asks Vikram that what is the use of burning crackers and says that they should do Diwali without pollution. He says we should lit the lamps. Pallavi comes there and thanks Rambro. She tells Rambro that Vikram called him on her name and says that they don't burn the crackers. Vikram says that how can Diwali be celebrated without the crackers? Aryan asks if I can come inside. Aliyah says yes. Aryan says he came to take his charger. Aliyah asks Aryan to return her other phone which he took to play games. Aryan says okay and he leaves. Aliyah tells Rhea that it is good that she did not tell Aryan anything. Rhea looks down from the window and tells Aliyah that Rambro is closer to Prachi. She says she has to go else Rambro will be burnt and she ate burnt marks on the body. And if Rambro gets marks on his face, what would happen? Then Rhea goes. Aliyah calls Aryan and thinks that he should pick the call. Rambro calls Niha and gives her compliment. Prachi thinks that I don't know why Rambro is cracking jokes and laughing. Grandma thinks that Prachi is jealous in love. Rhea thinks that what the hell, now Rambro is happy with this girl too. Prachi thinks that she cannot hear what they are talking about. Rambro asks Niha to laugh aloud because Prachi is coming. Niha laughs aloud. Prachi comes to Rambro and tells him that his mom is calling him and she tells Niha that her dad is calling her. Rhea comes there and asks Niha to go because her dad is calling her. Rambro asks Pallavi if she is calling him, but Pallavi says no. Prachi tells Niha that Rambro is her husband and she is his wife. She asks Niha to go and Niha goes. Rambro also goes. Rhea tells Prachi that you are doing wrong, that you are claiming to be Rambro's wife. She says Rambro will not become your husband because you have done outie with him. Prachi tells Rhea that I haven't done just outie with Rambro, but I have taken the 7 rounds with him. So for the next 7 baths, Rambro is mine and this vermilion too. Prachi goes to light the lamps. Rhea gets angry, recalling Prachi's words that Rambro is her husband. Rhea comes to Prachi while Prachi is busy lighting up the lamp. She holds Prachi's dupatta and she tries to burn it, holding it near the lamp. Aliyah comes there and stops Rhea. Aliyah takes Rhea with her forcefully. Pallavi looks at Rhea and Prachi wearing the same dress that Aliyah asked her to give them. Pallavi remembered that the dress was exchanged by mistake when she was thanking Aliyah, which means that Rhea is wearing the dress that has the bomb, while Prachi is wearing the dress that doesn't have the bomb. Pallavi tells Vikram about it, that Aliyah put numbers on the dresses, but she mistakenly mixed up the numbers and she gave the dress to Prachi and Rhea. Vikram says what is the big deal? They are sisters, so it is okay if they are wearing each other's dress. Pallavi goes away from there but she is worried because she doesn't know why Aliyah put numbers on the dresses. Rambro and Niha act to make Prachi jealous. Prachi calls Rambro. Rambro asks Niha to go and says that Prachi will be very happy. Niha goes. Prachi comes to Rambro and asks that what is going on. Rambro says nothing and asks how did she feel. Prachi says it was bad joke. Rambro says whoever cracked this joke was good. Prachi asks that what is cooking between both Rambro and Niha. Rambro tells Prachi that Niha likes me and I don't blame her because many girls likes me, but there is a difference between you both and says you have illness which she doesn't have. Rambro tells Prachi that you don't find me hot, but Niha thinks that I am hot. Rambro goes. Prachi says hot and you, and she thinks to see Niha. Aliyah asks Rhea why she was trying to burn Prachi's dupatta. Rhea says Prachi should have burned to ashes by now. God should have burnt her, but she is having fresh air. She says we cannot take breath in the same house. Aliyah asks Rhea to stay away from Prachi and says if Rhea is near Prachi, then everyone would doubt Rhea. Rhea asks, why didn't you let me do it? Aliyah asks Rhea to stay away from her planning and asks if she wants her plan to be flop. Rhea asks, why do you think that I will ruin our plan? And says I was making our plan successful. Aliyah asks Rhea if she wants Prachi to be burnt, then she would burn, and says that we will use our last option lastly, and she asks her not to use it first. Aliyah says her goon coming. Rhea says, why did you call your goon here? If anyone sees him, then what would happen? Aliyah tells Rhea that nobody would doubt her if she meet her goon here. The goon comes near her and gives her the car keys. Aliyah asks if the work is done. The goon says yes. Rhea asks Aliyah that what work does she ask the goon to do. Aliyah says I asked him to fill the car brakes. She says just as Siddharth and the goon will sit in the car, then the goon will ask Siddharth to drive the car himself and the goon will get down from the car. Aliyah says then the car will be stopped in the valley and Siddharth would die while Prachi would also burn to death at home. Aliyah asks Rhea to see Siddharth's photo frame later. Rhea says why will I see him? I will see Rambo instead. Aliyah asks about Aryan. Rhea says she did not see him. Shahana was on the call with someone. Aryan comes there and teases her. Aryan asks Shahana whom she was talking to so desperately. Shahana refuses to tell him. Aryan snatches her phone and runs. He checks and says that Shahana was talking to Siddharth and he asks that what is going on. Aryan says Prachi is marrying Siddharth and you are talking to Siddharth secretly. Aryan asks what is in Siddharth. Shahana praises Siddharth and says that he is a good guy and he respects women. She says he is better than you. Aryan asks, don't I respect women? Shahana says no and asks Aryan to think that girls are girls and says you wanted to do arm wrestling with me that day. Aryan tells Shahana that when I used to give you equal rights, then you have problem. He asks Shahana to compete car driving with him. Shahana says she knows how to drive car. Aryan sees Siddharth and the goon coming. He asks Shahana what is the matter. Shahana thinks if she should tell Aryan the truth. Just then, some kids burn crackers there and Aryan asks them to play at the other side. The goon pretends to get a call and tells Siddharth that his wife is hospitalized and he asks Siddharth to drive the car himself. He says he will send the address. Siddharth asks Shahana to sit in the car. Aryan stops Shahana from going with Siddharth alone and he takes the key to drive the car. Aryan sits in the car. Shahana also sits in the back seat. Siddharth says you cannot go with us, Aryan. Aryan drives off. Pallavi sees Aryan driving the car. Prachi follows near and comes to her. She asks her not to look at Rambo because his life is already complicated. Prachi asks Nia not to trap or woo Rambo. Nia says I am not doing anything. Prachi tells Nia that she got bad thought and she asks if you want me to do bad with you. Nia says no. Prachi asks Nia to enjoy the Diwali and not to trap her husband as a witch. Rambo gets happy seeing Prachi's jealous and says she understood. Prachi pretends as if Shahana is calling her and she goes. Rambo thanks Nia. Aliyah comes to the room and calls Aryan. Pallavi comes there and says I have done a big mistake. Aliyah says I have done a mistake too and I asked Aryan to stay back but he did not obey me. Pallavi asks Aliyah to relax and says Aryan is a good boy and he is a gem of a child. She says Aryan was helping people and Aryan took the car to park somewhere as some kids were burning crackers there. Aliyah is shocked and she sits worriedly. Pallavi asks Aliyah why Rhea was wearing Prachi's dupatta. Aliyah asks what does Pallavi mean. Pallavi says I'm just wondering what has happened. Aliyah goes away from there worriedly for Rhea. Aryan is driving the car that Aliyah had failed the brake thinking that Siddharth would be the one to drive the car. Shahana tells Siddharth that Aryan is teasing her. Siddharth asks Aryan to drive slow and says you are driving fast. Aryan says there is some problem in the car because the car doesn't stop. Shahana asks Aryan not to scare her and says she will not get scared. Aryan says the car brakes have failed. They see a car coming from the opposite side and they close their eyes. Aryan turns the car. Aliyah comes out and prays to God for Rhea and Aryan to be saved. Aliyah falls down and she scolds the girl standing there. She asks the goon if her son drove the car. The goon says I did not recognize your son and he asks if he was your son and says he was driving the car. Aliyah says he was my son and I asked you to send Siddharth alone. Aliyah asked the gun to search for Rhea and make sure that Rhea stays away from fire because she is wearing the bomb dress instead of Prachi. Aliyah calls Aryan. Rhea comes there and she is walking past the lamps. The lamps set off. Aliyah sees Rhea and comes there, but she is not there. Aliyah calls Aryan. Shahana says it is your mom's call and she asks him to stop the car. Aryan asks Shahana to say this to the car and says maybe the car will stop hearing the call. Aryan says that Aliyah must be calling him because he did not return her phone. Shahana tells Aryan that you are born to be scolded. Aryan says I will jump down from the car. Siddharth asks Aryan and Shahana not to fight. Aliyah calls Rhea on the phone and she prays to God to save at least either Rhea or Aryan from the trouble that she mistakenly put them in. Okay guys, it is sweet to see that Aliyah created two problems and our two beloved falls into the problem. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like the video, share it and subscribe to the channel to see what happens next. Thanks.